we're being told that it's under some kind of consultation, you know, stakeholders are being consulted left, right, center. But the bill in its current form, it's not what we should be encouraging. What is the philosophy driving this whole idea?
Pamolo, you see, it is precisely because the bill will require fine-tuning that the stakeholder consultation is being done.
Right.
That is the whole idea of molding the bill into something that we all accept. You see, there are simple facts. The truth is that we have entered a new age of media, where through technology, the frontiers of speech are being expanded. We all know that it has very useful purposes. It helps. For instance, in the past, if I wanted to issue a statement, I would have to bring a hard copy to you. And then if you are magnanimous enough, you will read it to the hearing of viewers. If you are not in the mood, it gets buried. But now, I put a statement on my Facebook page, my X account page, and it goes viral. Everybody sees it. In fact, sometimes you in the traditional media actually have to curl your reports from what I've posted. So there's no filter. It gets to people. We also do know that precisely because of the widespread nature of this technology and its wide reach, it is being subjected to abuse by certain individuals. And every government has a responsibility to protect its citizens from that kind of abuse. As I sit here, I'm an MP. There are people who have cloned my accounts. Several of them. Every day I get a complaint of how somebody has been duped in my name. Because people can clone my account, use a fake account to extort money from people, and create the impression that I'm the one behind it. So then it gives people confidence that it must be legitimate. That happens. There are people who deliberately spread disinformation with a view to damaging other people's reputations or sowing seeds of confusion in society. Let me give you an example. There's an entity called Ghana Today, which I can state is an MPP creation. What they did is that there was an old Ministry of Education Facebook page, which had about 40,000 followers. They just changed their credentials and called it Ghana Today. They put out deliberate falsehood and disinformation about people all the time. And this is operated by the MPP. We actually have an idea of who actually is behind it. And very soon it will be closed in on. They put out information that they know to be false, that creates panic and needlessly destroys people's reputation, even before you have the opportunity to respond. That kind of thing cannot be condoned. So if you are putting out accurate information, you are doing it ethically, you should not have any fear of any legislation. So the bill says that you are simply not allowed, for instance, to create a false social media account to spread falsehood about Molo. This is reasonable. It does not in any way infringe upon your right to air your views. For instance, if you said that I, as government communication minister, is hopelessly incompetent, who will come and arrest you for it? And that I should be dismissed. I'm utterly useless. I don't know my job. Who will dismiss you for it? Today, who will arrest you for it? Okoboy has criticized us. He says that we are overstating the achievements and that it is not unusual. It's a criticism of our conduct. Ahiagba has just posted something criticizing us for the AG's handling of the cases that he is prosecuting. Who will go and arrest Richard Ahiagba for expressing such a view, for expressing such a criticism of the Attorney General? But if Richard Ahiagba comes to put out information that he knows to be false, deliberately intended to create panic, it is a duty of law enforcement officials to look into it. And this happens everywhere in the world. This happens if you go and put up a Facebook post threatening somebody. Donald Trump, only a month ago, there's a lady who threatened to kill him, posted on social media, who has been jailed for doing so. And this is the most liberal democracy in the world. Of course, there may be elements of the act that may not necessarily meet with the expectations of the public. In fact, let me also disclose that only this week I have signed off to my office's contributions to that bill.
Oh, to this bill?
To this bill, exactly. Okay. So the consultation is going on. I signed it off because the ISD is the entity representing us on that matter. So they brought recommendations which I perused and agreed with, and I've signed it off. So it's going to the Minister for Communication.
Did you have any disagreements with aspects of the bill?
No, there are not significant disagreements.
Okay.
Maybe it's the wording and the structuring and what we believe to be components that can enhance the efficacy of the bill. So I've highlighted it.
Are you fine with the cybersecurity courts that will be set up to deal with persons who...
Of course, but of course there are special courts are
disinformation.
Special courts are created all the time.
Okay.
So if I set up on my own Facebook account, I threaten Okoboy with beheading, why should I go scot-free? That is clearly a crime. So in order that I don't go and add up to the clogged up court system, a special court is created so that we can deal with it expeditiously. There's nothing wrong with it. We have said, and the Ghanaian people accept it, that we will set up special courts to deal with galamsey. We have spoken about bringing back the tribunals to speed up the prosecution of cases, to relieve the courts of the pressure that they are facing. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. You see, so let me assure that President Mahama is not interested in curbing anybody's right to free expression. Indeed, he is somebody who is actually often criticized by members of the NDC for being too tolerant of opponents. Manes Azuri is one of President Mahama's fiercest critics. About 2 months ago, the president allowed him access to his office to have a meeting with him.
The MPP says they've lived with this for 8 years. Why can't you?
Live with what?
They've lived with this disinformation, fake news for 8
But
years.
they themselves are primary purveyors of disinformation. I've told you about Ghana Today, which is an MPP outlet. In fact, I know for a fact, you recall that there was actually some research in the lead up to the 2024 elections, which showed that they actually had a troll facility, a troll house, where they were paying people to generate fake accounts to spread lies about people. The MPP had it. Okobo can't deny it. It is there. The expose was made. So they themselves are the prime purveyors of disinformation in this country. They know it. So it is surprising that, or it is not surprising, that they will be unhappy that these illicit activities will be addressed using law. But that law is not meant or targeted at people who offer criticism or even harsh, strident criticism of the president or the government. That is not the issue. It is those who use it to commit crimes, offenses. To the cybersecurity law, for instance, is meant to protect people from being needlessly extorted and exploited by miscreants, those who create false accounts to do people. It is supposed to keep them.
In fact, just this morning.
Sure.
You know Professor Ajimai?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Someone just sent me a text this morning, and I don't know if you've also received the same text message. But this is what the person writes, and you know, and I just this morning, it says, and it's from Professor Bafu Ajimai.
Yes.
It says, hello, good morning. Trust you're doing good. Can you transfer 10,000 cedis to 02574853339? You received it too?
It's a straight. In fact, for many months, Moro, for many months, and in opposition, I was a staff of President Mahama's office. For many months,
yes,
we had to contend with a text message that was making the rounds. That the office of former President Mahama at the time was organizing some promotion and was sending 1,000 Ghana cedis to people to help them out of poverty or something. And this message got forwarded several times. Yeah. In fact, the Cybersecurity Authority had caused to issue a statement cautioning people against this fraudulent activity. But it still went on. The people behind it were never sought after and they were never dealt with so that you don't do it. Currently, we've had to deal with an AI-generated video in which President Mahama is purported to be endorsing cryptocurrency or something. Completely fake. You know, but there are people behind these things who are using this. And when you do that, you're actually committing an offense. You are attempting to defraud people. You are using the image and personality of the president to lure people into some activity, which is fraudulent.
Okay.
So if the cybersecurity authorities get such a person and prosecute him through the force of law, they will go to a court. So a judge will determine your guilt or otherwise. I don't think that the intent behind it can be assailed. So of course, we agree that there may be portions that people disagree with.
Okay.
Eventually, it will come to parliament where the minority is present. It will be debated. It will be opened up for scrutiny. And all those sections that are problematic, they will be addressed, either amended or expanded.
And briefly, do you disagree with those who also say that, fair enough, valid concerns, but there are already existing civil and administrative remedies that we can employ to deal or to address these concerns? You didn't have to, introduce these new laws, and that this one would land a lot of people in trouble.
The cybersecurity law actually exists. It exists. Yes. It's only an amendment.
Right.
The misinformation bill is something that had been worked on before we came to power. Right. I know that because ISB has been involved in it. In fact, UNDP and other organizations have been involved in crafting something to address that. It's a global phenomenon that many governments are worried about. But there's no specific law that addresses the emerging technologies and their misuse.
Okay.
So we need to strengthen existing law and fill in gaps by enacting new laws that address the abuse. Okay. And let me emphasize, it is abuse. If you go and post that the Ghanaians will vote against the NDC candidate in 2028 because we are a useless government, nobody will arrest you.
Okay.
However, if you go and post that President Mahama is organizing a giveaway, and so send your number or send some Momo amount to a certain number to qualify another. You are clearly abusing it. You are clearly committing a crime and it should be dealt with.